Why I developed and started DD214 Guide Service was because there was a gap market between Gary Sinise and the Wounded Warrior Projects that does amputees and people with head traumas and what I like to refer to as not necessarily functional disabled, and the functioning but not functioning disabled vets didn't have coping mechanisms, and I love to fish. My kids love to fish. We love the outdoors. And so I'm like, you know, the lake saved me because I'm a disabled vet. And so what I did was I started a service where we take them out for free. We'll take them for a ride on the lake. We'll take them fishing, whatever they want to do, and show them the outdoors and where it can be fun. You spend a lot of time in the outdoors when you're in the military. It's not always fun. So we try to bring it back to being fun. And where they can bring their spouses out with them or their kids, and the spouses can see the changes in their husband or wife who's a veteran, and say, hey, this is who I married. And you hear that a lot with veterans is, you know, why'd you get divorced? My wife told me this isn't who I married. You know, and so you get your spouse back. It's more fun that way. And so that's why I do this. That's why I do what I do. And I don't compete with the normal guides on the lake. Matter of fact, I'm friends with all of them, and we share information. And because I don't directly compete against them, it's just something I do for veterans, and I do it, you know, a couple of times a month, and it's my way of giving back. And so that's why I do what I do.
Sounds like a great program.
It's helped me. So you know, you can tell you're in God's will and you're blessing somebody when you get a blessing out of it too. And so absolutely. I get as much out of it as they do. Good. So,
how long have you been doing that?
I started March of last year. Ironically, when COVID started up, couldn't have picked a worse time to start a business. But we got a few guide trips in before COVID really got bad. And then I backed off of it a little bit because, you know, the veterans are already compromised, immune compromised sometimes, and it's just not worth the risk. You don't want to create more harm than good. So we backed off of it. So now we started back, you know, before Christmas in the fall. I did some trips in the fall. So spring, it ought to really kick off between vaccinations and the fear factor. I don't know if the fear factor going away is a good or a bad thing. But it seems to be waning to where it's like, oh, we got to live, you know, and we got vaccinations now, so we need to, you know, get back to life. So that'll help pick it up too.
Right. How do veterans learn more about your program?
I have a Facebook page, DD214 Guide Service, and they can also call Mike Jones here at the bait and things. And I have a cell phone, 662-822-6773, that they can call and get in contact with me.
That's great. What area have some of the vets been from that you've taken out? Or?
All over, Virginia, Washington State, and surprisingly enough, it's vets that decided to come down and crappie fish on the Big Four, and they're like, well, we're already here, and so we heard about this guy, so why don't we go and see him and see what he's all about. And a lot of them will laugh and go, you know, we had more fun with you than we had with the guy that we paid. We didn't catch, you might not have catch as many fish, but we're going to laugh and we're going to joke and we're going to have fun. Because there's no alcohol on the boat, there's no drugs on the boat, you know, there's nothing but the outdoors. And so, and not saying guides drink on the water or whatever, but you know, we don't, it's not like Alcoholics Anonymous where you sit around and talk about drinking. Well, we don't talk about combat. We don't talk about, you know, whatever. It's strictly of, you know, if you're having a bad day, you're holding a fishing rod, your day's not that bad.
Not that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad.